Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the Tuesday topic. We've brought Paul Machin in from the Redmen TV because it's a bit of a general discussion today. It is about the rise of
Nias.
Yeah, and that, yeah. The rise of Nias. Well, it's about, we're talking about fan TV, we're talking about what we do. Because obviously Gary Neville, I've seen it myself, I don't know if you've watched it live, boys. I actually seen, it's odd because I don't watch that much footy on Sky, and I've seen both things. I seen on Saturday when he was talking about the lad in the stand, because this is what prompted it, I don't know if you've seen it. The lad had brought a banner in saying, Wenger get out, basically, and his big gripe was, why would you bring a banner into the ground saying that? You're sort of preempting that they're going to lose. Now, as a fan, you get that anyway, don't you?
Yeah.
You know when, you know, and also, as a fan, you're told not to be, like, in the moment. If you're going to back something, you back it.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or
I think it's, we've had this conversation, you've had a similar thing to it, and we've had it as well. Taking a banner in is a bit, I mean, particularly when you're a club, let's be honest, as good as Arsenal, who have had success that in the last decade that both our clubs have cast envious glances at. When you consider what the alternatives are, is plain banners, which are the most wool thing anyone's ever done at a football match by all accounts. It's the most modern football way of protesting, because it's the physical equivalent of Twitter, where it's faceless and you can't have any right to reply. Whereas I think it's a bit weird and a bit sad with your Wenger out banners inside the ground, but there's your face. Yeah, there's your face. Back it. Yeah. You know, you've got to have massive bollocks to go into a football ground and protest anything physically, in person. So yeah, he probably looked like a tit, but that was his decision, and he has to live with the consequences, which is what you should have.
And he probably can only do it at away grounds. They probably have some kind of banner monitoring machine as you walk into the Emirates. So he does that. Gary Neville kicks off about it, and then after the game yesterday, after the Man United game, and they're talking about it again, there's obviously been an uproar overnight about it, and he said, well, I don't regret what I said, and he said, and I've walked out after the game, and I can't remember the exact words, but he basically said,
those cameras and those Arsenal fan TV thingies.
Yeah, he said I wasn't sure if he said idiots or thingies, but he basically turned the nose up at them. All them kicking off, and all the Chelsea fans, and if anyone's seen it, someone robbed Ty's at, which was amazing that someone robbed Ty's at.
It's amazing that people know who Ty is, really, to be fair, no, isn't it? But carry on.
Yeah,
not that amazing given Arsenal's run lately.
Well, no, I know.
Everyone watches it.
Well, maybe that's the whole issue, isn't it? But yeah, go on.
So obviously then it gets to Robbie. Robbie puts a video out about it. Ask Gary Neville to come on. Gary Neville says he's going to come on, and now this has sort of started this thing. Gary Neville's basically sitting in his chair, Premier League player, England coach, Valencia manager, unsuccessfully. He's sitting in on one side, and you've got Robbie, sort of the face of what we do, because obviously he does it for the fans, really, doesn't he? I mean, all his views come from just interviewing other fans.
Yeah, they have a very different approach to how we do it, because you do it very similar to the way that we do it, don't you? You know, you've got this, what
are you trying to say?
The through the looking glass version of the Redmen TV studio.
That's because you wouldn't give us a room with a proper wall.
A real wall.
But no, but the point is that our channels are predominantly based around, yours is used to, ours is me and Chris, and sat in a room with our mates chatting about footy, and it was one of those things that if people didn't watch it, they'd never it's not something you can stumble upon, because you can't walk out of the match and you couldn't bump into us doing it. Now we do more of the match day stuff than you do. We do match day stuff, but it's although I did see it inside the ground, little video, little earpiece, nice work. But this is the difference. That is the front end of what Arsenal fan TV, isn't it? It's Robbie putting a camera at people who want to talk about the match. So that's where that's the best way to almost, in some respect, to draw attention to stuff, because it's the modern day football phone, isn't it?
Well, that's it, the difference. I mean, obviously the difference are people might look at us doing it, they might look at you do it and go, you're quite similar to what the TV are, in a way. It's your opinion all the time. So Robbie's a little bit different, but he's still doing what we do. I just find it's interesting that this is built up, because Gary Neville saying those people, and those people are the fans, and even though Robbie's got his own collection of interesting characters, which probably separates him from anyone else, they are the fans. They do go home and away. I watched the video after the match with Claude on, and he's someone being skint, and all his money goes into Arsenal. Well, we've all got them at our club. Most of our away fans are like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it'll just be interesting to see where this goes, because will fans have enough sort of bollocks to back this side of the room rather than the Premier League side of the room? Because I think that could be interesting as well. Because
you know what the problem is? Sorry, I realise I'm talking a lot for your show, like, but obviously this is something dear to me, because you know, we were the first. You know, we started this out, and it kind of, I'll be honest, maybe there's a touch of ego in it. It kind of, I take it personally when people say fan channels, and what they mean is the Arsenal Fan TV loudmouths, you know what I mean, and the ones that go viral, and they go fan channels, and they go, because that in their head is what that is, whereas fan channels is predominantly, well, it's one or two things, isn't it? It's either people outside the ground, or there's people in studios and rooms and all that sort of footy. So I do take it. I personally take offence when it all kicks off. Like, but like I guess kind of what you're saying. These people who go out there, and go back to what I was saying before. Fair fuck to anyone who wants to get out there and put the face on camera and say what they want to say. But equally, it is soap opera-ish what's kind of happening with Robbie. So I get it. I get there's a split, isn't there, where what's going to happen is there's going to be people who love it. I love the fact that it's going to be getting more exposure because Gary Neville's talking about it, and there's going to be the people who hate it and have always hated it are going to hate it even more because it's now even more people are talking about it. My fear is that the way it's being run is that if Gary Neville and all that and the mainstream catch on to it and don't embrace it, then it makes all of our jobs loads harder because we're going to be tarred with the same brush, like we're all dickheads.
I just don't think you can be as dismissive as he was, though, because it's without fans, footy is nothing. It's just corporate and all of that bollocks. You can't dismiss everybody by saying those people out there saying Wenger out. And those people out there saying Wenger out are going, paying their money to go up and down the country now. Yeah. We might look at it differently and go, well, hang on, he's delivered 20 years of the Champions League, he's won the 2 FA Cups in the last 3 years, he's won the league for them and stuff, and like you rightly said, we'd be made up to sit here if that was Everton's record and Liverpool would be as well at the moment. But so they're entitled to a voice just as much as this fella.
I think the point being is that the like, I mean, I don't want this to be an Arsenal thing, I want it to be very much about fan channels, but Robbie has lived through those 20 years and gives that side of the. Gary Neville just talks about it for 5 minutes and talks on the next thing. We concentrate on what we're doing. You know, we've just been talking off air about a poll that we've done on Ball Seats about who's the best goalkeeper, and I picked Nigel Martin, and you sort of dismissed it and laughed at it, but we watched Nigel Martin, and for us he is that some of those games I wouldn't have swapped them for anyone in the world. But you've got, I mean, you're not stupid enough to pick a Liverpool goalie, but you've picked, you know, you've picked and gone, well, you've given more of a general view. But for us, that player was because we've watched them with our eyes every single week, and that's the difference ultimately, isn't it? The difference is that they live through it, and it affects their mood like it affects our mood every single day.
The problem with it is that there's a snobbery in the mainstream media.
Definitely.
Because, and I've felt it. You'll have felt it too. Have you ever gone in the have you ever gone in the press box?
Yeah.
We've got it for a couple of times, like pre-season games, and everyone goes, "Ah, yeah," and then you know, there's just when people are not comfortable around you, they don't have any time for you whatsoever, and there's that, and I think there's a lot, but I understand it as well from some perspective, because let's put it this way, if someone, I did a media degree at uni. I was always into film and stuff, and we just wanted to make like a TV show, basically. You know what I mean? So we had ideas of what it wanted to be. There's no regulation on what we do. It's self-regulated to some extent. So I get it when you've come through that. I'll give you an example. My sister-in-law has been a producer or director for the BBC. Now she's done cups of coffee and running jobs and research, all the shit jobs you can do to get out. Then she was directing the big Planet Earth. She directed some of the segments of that. Phenomenal. But you know, we've both got the same level of hands-on experience in production stuff, except I haven't had to go and make cups of tea for it down the same way. But there was a resentment, because imagine you could get to the same place without having to go to university for 3 years, without having to go and do all this production skills, without having to go and put all the hard yards in at a major production company. All of a sudden, these upstarts, these oiks with a camera can turn up and film. Robbie's getting more views than BT Sport are getting.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
He hasn't gone to media school, and don't get me wrong, but he's fantastic footballer, but he's doing it. Yeah, but that I as part of when I done my degree, I've done journalism. That was like one of the things. So I done media. You had to do writing. We had to do bit of film stuff. Other people films, bit of presenting. That was just all part of it. The people who go, well, I've got a degree in, journalism. Yeah, well, I've done a segment of a degree in journalism, but and what? It doesn't actually mean anything. Whether there's loads of journalists who are crap, but who've got that degree.
I think there's a notion that it's like it's our game. I think you get that from the ex-players.
Well, that's 2 points there. Robbie. I would love to know what Sky's views were over the weekend, because some of Robbie's videos are hitting 250,000. The one with DT is like 350,000, and Jamie Carragher actually said on the show, no wonder we're losing views after that first half. And I thought,
you definitely got
there's an intake of breath in that studio. He actually said it on air, and I just couldn't believe that he said it.
You know what though, mate? I found that quite refreshing, because I think it's the honesty there. It's good, because you need to address it.
But what I would say as well is, going back to what you just said, all the older hacks never went to university. Like, I was listening to someone the other day, and he said, I can't remember who it was, but he's a proper journalist and been in it for years, and he was like, never went to university, started when I was 18, started in a small paper in like
started in the printing departments.
Started in Hull.
I did that. I worked in the printing department.
I got a tea job. I got a tea job, and and then worked my way up. And now I just can't remember who it was. But now he's like the top of it. I was thinking, it's only this last generation. And you know what? What you said there, fan TV, it irks me when clubs call you fan media as well. Well, they're just fan media, and I think.
Well, did you go to that? You went to Facebook with me, didn't you? For the Facebook Football Awards, which was the most condescending thing I've ever been to in my life. I nearly walked out, because it was like, and now we're going to get away from the fans. Oh, there's the fans. Let's put the fans round here.
Facebook
fans. What have you got to say? I think that's really good. Thanks very much. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, great. The fans think it's good, and it's like Fernando Morientes can't fucking speak English, mate, and he's fucking on that panel. And get him off.
And he won't
get him off.
He won't, like,
to be fair,
say anything.
He looks sharp though.
He looks sexy as fuck.
Looks sharp.
But he can't speak English. And they asked him a question, and he went,
But the irony is, we were there with Robbie Savage. Now, Robbie Savage, no matter whether you like him or whether you don't like him, or what you thought of a footballer, he speaks his mind, and that's why people like him. You know what I mean? I think
you and I have very different opinions on
but he's still
he's the fucking worst of it, mate. But he's the fucking worst of it, because
stop swearing.
Sorry, he is the absolute flipping worst of it, because no, but of course
you've gone past your limit now. It doesn't really matter.
No, exactly. But no, he's the worst of it, because he's the same as all this. He's exactly, people go, oh, it's a pantomime, only coming out and just saying controversial things. What is Robbie Savage? You know what I mean? Like, that is what he is. He gets a job because he's forthright.
Well, there you go.
Because he spouts a load of shit that he doesn't believe to create controversy.
I agree with you in terms of, that snobbery being it, because like you said, it's all, everything you said's right. He would feel like that, wouldn't you? And those fellas who've done that kind of job, the written media, they've worked hard to get where they are, and you have to give that, you give that credit, but you can't just ignore other stuff that's on the rise, can you? And
but we've worked hard for what we do. We've not been paid for stuff, and just done stuff and gone to places not been paid.
5 years.
Well, exactly. Do you know what I mean? This is not like, oh, this is all about us and we're crying. But what I mean is that. So I remember someone saying to us, "Oh, they should let them go to press conference," when, like, Martinez, like, ask proper questions, and then people, what right did they have to go to press conferences when these lads have done this many years of university? I'm thinking, I couldn't care less.
Listen, if Gary Neville got paid what we get paid to do what we do, and because what pay? What fucking pay? What pay is that? You know what I mean? he would not do it, and none of these footballers would fucking do it. But the fact of the matter is, and they will be scared, there will be a fear of it, because
what's he on, $1 million?
Oh, he'd be on ridiculous money.
He's on $4 million. He's probably on about
ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Well, fucking ridiculous. Well, that's not even they need the money. But here's the thing, mate, is that if it, Sky be shitting themselves, like, because let's be honest, I'm looking at my Sky bill now. I've got Sky Sports, and BT separate as well, and I've put that on a separate account. That's well over £100 a month. I'm paying for that, and for what? You know what I mean? What am I getting really? No, exactly. You know what I mean? But it's the point, isn't it? Is that all of a sudden people start to turn around and go, well, hang on, I can get better than this. I can get the footy from wherever, and I can get my opinion from people who actually, I can pick and choose my opinion. I don't have it forced down my throat anymore of whoever the 3 panelists are. They've decided, and look, we know it's how we do Social Club every week, and it's difficult to get an informed opinion on every single topic around it, because like exactly what you say, you only know your own football club, don't you? It's him. He does my head in.
I mean, the thing about Robbie is, I mean, he goes out after the game, gets those interviews in front of that. I mean, to be honest, we've been.
Have you seen his crowd?
We've done
been
it
in the middle of his crowd,
and people they're heckling you. And even like we did it when Arsenal beat us, and we were really nice about them, and they were still giving a shit. They were still saying this and that about us, and while we were doing it, and like purely heckling us, and that didn't seem like a big crowd. I've seen an angle of that crowd from away, and it was scary, because it was loads of Arsenal, then loads of Chelsea, and people are like, and I'm thinking, and Robbie holds it together, and then he has to go away, and then they edit and they get all those videos out, and people don't realise how long that takes, and how much work he puts in, and how late he has to stay, and if you're not making money off it, it's alright at the moment, because Robbie does it for a living, and he's good, and he's got sponsors and all the rest of it. But when you actually start that, and this is a problem that we've got, is that what you have to give up. I mean, we start, people are asking us all the time, do fan cams. I'd have to give up my best night of work to do it, and I'd have to hope it works and starts paying for itself, and then people don't quite understand that.
Here's the difference. Here's the thing, right? Is that you do what we do because we love doing what we do. Because if you don't love what you do, you'll never make it, because again, if you're money motivated, it's the wrong game. There is no people look at it and look, and I'll be honest, look, KSI's making a wedge, and I bet Spencer's making a wedge, and I bet Sue Geordie's making a wedge, and the guys who are on, are doing 500,000 whatever subs, and they you see them all over the place. They'll be making decent wedge, because there's loads of revenue streams and whatever you can do from it. But we've Redmen, we built it up. It was I can only work a part-time job because this is what I wanted to do for my career. I wanted to film stuff. I wanted to do that. We put my family through financial destitution to do it. No money. Rain pissing in through the roof because we couldn't afford to fix the roof. All of this shit, and you do only what you're physically capable of delivering upon. And it's the thing, and similarly with Robbie, they do what they do, and they did what they did because that's what they got the biggest kick out of. Robbie could do what all of us do, because look at the views and the numbers Robbie's got. They're a much bigger channel than all of us. They could do the studio based stuff, but that's not his bag. We only ever do the things that we want to do because we've got a passion for doing them. He totally believes in this giving a voice to fans thing. I totally believe in making a Scouse version of Soccer AM. You know what I mean? It's we come it from different angles completely, and it
shouldn't be dismissed by some.
But that's it. Where do you think this is going to go? Because you've got, I seen, it wasn't only there was the Arsenal fans were having a go at John Cross. John Cross has been very dismissive of it, but it's funny because John Cross is the voice of Arsenal in terms of what media work he does, going on TalkSport and the Sunday supplements and all this kind of thing. You think he feels threatened by Robbie? And it's mad because we all know the names of, like, DT suddenly become this name now. He gets the most views because he's so forthright. It was Claude, it was everyone knows the name. It's Fan Blood, but we all know the names, we know the catchphrases, and I generally feel like people like John Cross, not Gary Neville, but John Cross, someone like that, probably feels threatened now.
Yeah. Listen, how many of us really watch Arsenal Fan TV's content? I don't sit and watch, but when we do, because we know what we're getting from it. Like, you know, that's the problem. The problem with fan channels, the biggest problem with fan channels, is that it's content made for a particular audience, and let's just say in a general sense it's fans of a particular club, but then there's a subcategory within that. Let's put that to one side for a moment. The problem with fan channels is it's content made for a specific fan base that's accessible by every fan base. And if only Arsenal fans could access Arsenal Fan TV's content, it wouldn't be an issue. But people from outside, it permeates into your life. It ends up on your Facebook feed when you've got no Arsenal mates, and it ends up on your Twitter feed, and it ends up in the newspapers, and it ends up and everyone starts discussing it, and you can't escape it. And when that happens, it does your head in. It's like people who hated the Ice Bucket Challenge for a good cause, but everyone was, but you got to be, fuck this Ice Bucket Challenges. Who wants to help charity? You know what I mean? But things annoy you when they get in your face, and that's the way that it's gone. I was at a conference. I was asked to talk about fan media at a conference at Wembley last year. Get on me. I felt like a bad dickhead, by the way. But someone from Southampton's media said, "What about Arsenal Fan TV?" And I was like, I get asked it everywhere I go, every time I do anything like that. And I said, do you know how many videos Arsenal Fan TV put out a game? They do like 20 videos, and you get to see one of them. Now it's increased because, as you said, they've got a bit more of a cast of cards. They've got more regular people on it, but by and large, it's one video that goes pop every few weeks or every few months or half a season or whatever, and that gets everywhere and everyone talks about that. No one ever talks about the other 19 videos where people have come on and just said normal things, because you're not a fan of that team, you're not a fan of that channel, you don't give a fuck about what it is. All you want is a stick with which to beat, you know, people with, or call it confirmation bias. If you hate Arsenal Fan TV, then there's loads of evidence, there's loads of whoppers on there. You can go, yeah, look at these. But equally, if you wanted to make a case for them, you could go and watch those other 18 videos and see. Be arsed though, because I'm not going to watch 18 videos of Arsenal.
I tell you what's interesting though is that, you know, BT as a channel are starting to embrace it, aren't they? Which is, you know, I did a little bit for them, didn't really use it, but I did a little bit for them on Saturday.
I refused to do it.
I don't know why. They had another Everton lad on, I don't know why. Yeah, so the lad in his bedroom, but fair enough. I mean, we do bedroom stuff all the time. That's
behind the paywall.
That's what he pays for, that's why his Sky bills are so high. No, they're starting to embrace it. They're trying to get the fans' view, and then some of them have a little chat about it. Whereas it almost, I'm not saying it's a skyline, but you know what I mean. Like, don't dismiss the fan channel, spite are using that. But it's funny that one are trying to embrace it, one are trying to almost mocking it. Yeah. You just wonder where it's going to go. We know that there's been channels set up on Sky that are cringy as hell, that are trying to, hey guys, do you want to do this tonight? No,
just Lee Collins.
No, you're all right. Gone bust probably by now.
Yeah, probably. Here's the thing, Ped. If Gary Neville goes on Arsenal Fan TV, that's the worst thing he could possibly do. Not because I don't think he'll put himself across well, and not because I think it'll kick off or whatever. It's because the best thing that could happen to the worst thing that could happen to our industry is where, and we'll see how it goes from there. But that totally legitimises what's being done, which is great. But if you don't like aspects of that, you will hate the fact that that's been legitimised. It's the people saying, why do they deserve to be in press conferences and why this and this. You know what I mean? It will back up one opinion or the other. I don't think it will necessarily change anyone who's staunchly one side. I think it's good. Here's the thing, Robbie. People think Robbie's a mug somehow. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Like he doesn't know what. Like I don't know. Robbie's a very, very canny man. He's very and he loves his football club. I think he'll handle himself brilliantly because he's got a very good track record. You know, he totally believes in.
It'll be interesting if he does go on just to hear his actual arguments, because once it's put to someone, and he's brilliant football.
Oh, Neville won't back down, will he?
Neville won't back down. He's fantastic. So it'd be really, really interesting to see what he says when Robbie will obviously say, these are fans who pay money and go up and down the country, so how can you say it doesn't matter? Why haven't they got an opinion? I want to hear what he comes back with.
I wouldn't be surprised if Gary Neville got a shit ton of Twitter followers off it and probably opened his eyes. You know what I mean? Like, because if that was that video, because here's the thing, I don't really care about Arsenal, I've got no love for Arsenal in any way, shape or form. I remember 1989, you know what I mean? Fucking hate Arsenal. But the point is that I will watch that video with great interest. I will, and everyone will watch that video because we'll want to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens.
I'll tell you what the other thing it'll be interesting to see
The Sky will put it on.
But that's what I was about to say. I was about to say, who will land that video? Will that video be Sky produced, you know, blah blah blah?
Well, if he says he's coming on, if he says he's coming on Arsenal Fan TV, come on Arsenal Fan TV, mate. Don't be like, come to the Sky studios and sit down and blah blah blah, because it'll be exactly that. That's the thing for Robbie. He should just stand as, because he's in the right. I love him to bits. Like, I mean, I don't like a lot of it, and I get why people would not like it, because let's be perfectly honest, if there was a bunch of, we don't get lads like that who come on our stuff. I don't think Liverpool, I don't think that it's a Scouse mentality to come on and be like that. Like,
you want to go to the pub and get out of
exactly. You get it on forums, don't you? And if it's shit, you go home, because it means too much. It ruins your life, doesn't it? And you'll hang around to vent your frustrations, like.
And then the other thing we get is, and we've said this before, is those people actually making a bit of a mockery at your club at times. So you get what West Ham Fan TV got when they had that lad on a couple of times. Lad came over and you're part of the problem. You're shining the light on us, which sometimes is needed, but sometimes you just want your club to just bunker down and get on with stuff where you don't want this, you know.
It's funny. I just think they're unique, aren't they? The Arsenal fans. It is unique, whether you love it, you hate it, or you're not bothered by it. Yeah. I think it is unique because of like you mentioned before, the set of characters they've got. All of those lads, it works perfectly for it, doesn't it? You look and you go, you know, and almost the sensible ones get lost in the mix of the ones that you're going to win the league, or the ones
it, you know, it's just is how it is, isn't it? You know, we do it in our different ways. You know, we've got over the years, we've probably had 4 or 5 regular lads who come in and do Redmen stuff, but again, it's just mentalities of people. I just think Arsenal fans are an odd breed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Maybe that's just it.
Well, no, but yeah, exactly. But I do think that, you know, I don't know where. I don't think the ones who you see make the biggest noise, they're not a great cross section of Arsenal fans. Even though, actually, in terms of diversity, in terms of backgrounds and blah blah blah, you know, you've got incredible. You know, when you look at the diversity available and the showcase there. But in terms of, you know, as you say, sensible. The loudmouth fans, it's the loud minority that does anyone's head in about a football club, and if you're the quiet, sensible ones, very rarely do it. But then again, look at the video that went big for us the other week was an 18-year-old lad, by the way, still in sixth form, comes on and you know, he didn't. He said afterwards, I kind of would have phrased it a little bit differently, but you know, he had a point. He was desperate to get it across, and that was probably the first positive viral post-match video. I think there's, you know, it's been a while, which shows that it's not all.
That was that's a brilliant example. I mean, just to wrap it up, because I think it's interesting. But I mean, where do you think it's going? Because we know that companies have tried to come in, buy fan channels, and put money into them, but with their money they want control. Yeah. And that for me takes away what.
It's no surprise that I was telling you before that those fan channels are all getting shut down now, because you know, there's so many that are actually gone. Oh, you know, 2 or 3 of them have actually shut down already because that's the worst approach to
Wayne's World syndrome, isn't it?
Exactly. And there's no money in it.
Well, there's no money. Exactly, there's no money. But you know, these things are meant to be passion projects. Well, here's the thing. Like, I know Chris believes the fan cam thing has got a shelf life. I'm not sure about that, because like I say, the football phoning will go. The problem with it.
Look at Stan Collymore. Look what he's done.
He's making a side career off making his own one. But here's the thing: is that I do think it will reach a point, and I don't know what will happen there because of the soap style nature of it. Yeah. What happens if Arsenal just start winning football? If Arsenal win a league title, it'll be fine, won't it? You know what'll happen. But the problem is you've now got people, and I've seen it. 1 or 2 lads have spoken to us about stuff, and I look at people now and I think, do you see that as an avenue to success somehow? You know, like, because I can't speak for any of the people who go on Arsenal Fan TV at all. I can't. But if you wanted to be famous or YouTube famous, that could be an avenue for you, and that's where I think and I think this is what the people who hate it think, that everyone goes on Arsenal Fan TV just says things that are most controversial, so that they'll go viral, so that their reputation gets bigger, so that they can build their own thing, yada yada yada. And if you believe that, I'm sure there's more than enough evidence for you to back up that belief. I don't think that's true yet, but I think it will happen, and I think you will have lads. It's like we all, you know, like I'm sorry, I'm going.
One of them's been in the Big Brother house.
Well, I was going to say the Big Brother being an example of it, or Britain's Got Talent. If
what's his name?
He says boom, I don't know.
Yeah, he was in Celebrity Big Brother, the last one.
I don't know.
Oh, what's his Heavy D?
Heavy D.
Heavy D.
Heavy D. But
Pretty off there. Fancy.
But I'll give you an example. Like imagine if X Factor or Britain's Got Talent showed you every audition. Every audition was available to you. You could theoretically use that you could make up a character, you could pretend to be one of those ones who were dead shit at it, couldn't you? To try and get yourself a little bit of 15 minutes of fame. Whereas I think that's the worst case scenario for all this. But provided it's still giving normal people who are desperate to have a say and they're feeling really maligned about the football clubs a voice, then I can see it going on forever. I think it'll become a permanent fixture of how we react to football. You know,
I think everyone should be given every fan should be given a voice, whatever it is. But I think the sensible ones is just as important as the ones who. What you've got to remember is football's an emotive game. It's a passionate game. You just watch your team get turned over. You come out. Your passion is everywhere. Your emotions are everywhere. Especially if you're an Arsenal fan. I remember just very quickly sitting with Robbie here before we played them at Goodison. And he asked me, he said, do you think Arsenal can win the league? And I was like, it looks like they're brilliant. When they came down to Goodison, they were like Chelsea now, they were wiping the floor with teams. Yeah. Since we beat them that night, and then Man City beat them, it's gone the other way. But up until then, they've had them all singing on the Arsenal Fan TV, we're going to win the league. So it just shows you the emotions are on high there.
It's just the thing that the club aren't able to deliver on is that thing of what you do and what we do and what we're doing here and what we do on Ball Street as well when we do Social Club. It's fans sitting down and just replicating the conversations that we have, but putting them in front of camera and shining a light on those, because they're the things that your club media never touches. It's like fucking Russian state television, LFC TV. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's like the USSR, and same with my MUTV and all that kind of stuff, because they've got to create positive vibes. They can't put out negative messages. If someone's shit, I want to say the shit. Doesn't mean I have to say everything shit at all times, and that's the fine.
Ours last season was like the White House spokesman at the moment. Martinez is a good manager. We're doing well.
Brown shoes are amazing.
Period.
Everyone gets brown shoes.
To be honest,
there are no tanks.
Just to wrap up, I mean, to be honest, I only ever got into it because I wanted to be on the match on Sky. I wanted to just get to that level and just get on the match and play at St James's Park.
I honestly playing just be able to shoot straight, because every striker they had, watch it all, and they'd get into the game. None of them could hit the target.
I just wanted to do Jonathan Wilson training, basically.
Oh my god.
Put an elbow in on Robbie Williams.
Just wanted some clarification.
I just do it because I like making videos, and I'm not the same person when I don't get to make stuff. So it was a choice between what you could do, and we did it. It's been good. It's been good fun. Cost me a fucking fortune, but it's been good fun. Like,
and that's it, and that's exactly why we do it, to spend other people's money. Right.
Spend what my wife's.
Yeah. We got our own.
Right, let us know what you think about Gary Neville, Robbie, the confrontation. Can there only be one? Like the Highlander or something?
Absolutely.
No, or they can just...
Who's the Kagan in this? Well, it'd have to be Gary Neville, wouldn't it?
Bully with the
Bully's
beard.
The Kagan,
let us know what you think. You obviously like fan channels because you're watching ours. But, is there room for both? Or... Obviously there's room for both, isn't there? But
what's the limit? It'd be interesting to know what people think the future of it all is. If they think it's sustainable or not.
What is the future of fan TV, and can it be integrated into the mainstream media, or are they always going to say no, get out? And is there room for the football clubs as well? Should football clubs let us in and give us some free stuff? I don't know, but just give us some, let us go to press conferences and stuff.
People still send me job adverts when LFC TV jobs come up, and I just laugh.
I've had a few of them as well. Oh, it's a bot job going at Everton.
Nah, you're alright. You're alright.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching Toffee TV. We'll see you later.